Live, Chairman.
Thank you, Sonia. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rochford District Council's remote meeting of the Executive. A warm welcome to visiting members and also a welcome to members of the public who are viewing this meeting via the YouTube live stream. Everyone is here, so where item 1 is concerned, we no need to take any apologies because everyone is here, I believe, Sonia. And if turning to item 2 on the agenda, Sonia, you would be kind enough to read out the names of any non-members attending.
Thank you, Chairman. We have Councillor Julie Gooding, Councillor Michael Hoy, Councillor Dave Sperring, Councillor Mike Wilkinson, Councillor Laureen Shaw, Councillor Bob Milne, and Councillor George Ioano.
Thank you, Sonia. Agenda item 3, minutes. I believe before we move to agreeing the minutes, Councillor Ward, you made mention to me earlier that you may have a question on the minutes. Councillor Ward.
Thank you very much, Leader. Yes, it's just in regards to, it actually reflects on item 7, which we will be coming to, and it is 3.4 on page 7.1. When I looked at that and I noticed it said the programme update was presented to the Executive on 3rd of February 2021. Just in the minutes, it just says it was just a spoken report as opposed to anything else. And I feel that realistically, because we wish to be as open, as transparent as we always say we want to be, I feel just having a transcript or even a brief note as to what was discussed and spoken at that meeting, I think would be very, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor Ward. If I could refer to the Acting Managing Director, Angela Hutchings, if you would like to make comment.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to say, yes, I'm very happy to insert additionality into the minutes. The minutes themselves do reflect a lot of detail with the full statement of the Deputy Leader. Just to refresh members' memory, the update was essentially setting the scene for the Connect transformation programme, explaining the various work streams that would sit beneath it, introducing Angela Hogg, the project manager, and reaffirming that that project would now be a gold project and fall within the reporting cycle of the PMO, as you say, Councillor Ward, the report which is later on the agenda.
Thank you very much. Members, are there any other matters arising from the minutes? Right, in that case, can I take it that the minutes are agreed, please, members?
Agreed.
Right, I don't
Agreed.
think there's any
Great.
consent on that.
Agreed,
Thank you
Chairman.
very much indeed. Okay. Moving on to agenda item 4, to receive declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? I can't see anyone responding, but I would like to refer to agenda item 8, appendix 1, table A, makes reference to grants that have been awarded in the financial year 2020-21, and as a committee member of Memory Lane Dementia Cafe, that is a recipient of one of the grants. I just need to declare the fact that I'm a committee member of that group. Moving on to agenda item 5, questions on notice from councillors. Members, there have been no questions received for this meeting, which takes us to item 6, matters referred to the executive and reports from other committees. There are none, members. Agenda item 7, the Council Projects Programme Management Office, the Acting Managing Director, Angela Hutchings, will introduce the report, please. Angela.
Thank you, Chairman. Members, this is the quarterly report of the Projects Programme Office, which reports on the Council's gold and silver projects. Last month, members had a verbal update from the Assistant Director Transformation and Customer to lay the groundwork of the Connect programme, and from this quarter onwards, the project will report formally through the PMO process. The other two projects which are the subject of this report are the Council's Asset Delivery Programme and the Beagle project. Members should note that EPUT, the administrators of the National Vaccine Centre programme for our area, have now said that the Freight House will not be used as a vaccination centre. So that is an update to the comments within the report. But members, if you have any questions about the Asset Delivery Programme, the project's senior responsible owner, Matt Harwood-White, is here to assist. And with your permission, Chairman, I know that Councillor FD, as portfolio holder for tourism, would like to update members regarding the Beagle event.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Chairman.
Hand over to Councillor FD at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I had a meeting to gather some ideas of what to do with the underspend of the Beagle event, which was for 2020. And it looks like we'll be investing the money in a, as you say now, real life event with actual people. So we're going to be in touch with the town and parish councils to look at future calendar dates. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor FD. I have a question from Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Chairman. It's just in relation, Angela, to the decanting of number 19, which I believe we're on target for and should be emptied by the 1st of April. Is that correct?
That's as I understand it, Councillor Rowe, yes.
Absolutely, thank you. And just my thanks to Angela Hogg and the team for, you know, the Connect programme. It's moving on swiftly, I'm pleased to say, and in conjunction with the asset development programme. So thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe. Any more questions before I ask one? I can't see anyone signalling. Can I refer, please, to 3.6, please? And, you know, very proudly, we say planning has started for the staff development programme, which will equip staff with the skills they need to operate as 21st century public servants and serve the council's residents in an agile and responsive way. Could I just ask you, please, Angela, just to sort of set out your vision for what that actually looks like, because I believe it's actually very exciting, and I'd just like to understand in, shall I say, more layman's speak, exactly how you envisage that will look.
Yes, absolutely. The 21st century public servant is a government study undertaken some little while now, which sets out the characteristics of forward-thinking and proactive local government in particular. And so what we are looking to do with our staff is to work with them as part of our evolution through digital technology to ensure that not only are they operating processes which aid and assist the efficient delivery of their day-to-day services, but also that they are able to use digital technology to create their own efficiencies and to improve performance so that they can be more proactive in dealing with the requirements of both the democratic processes as which we as a council have and also our customer needs.
Thank you very much, Angela. And if I also refer to 3.12, which refers to the council offering the Freight House as a potential COVID-19 vaccination centre, I would just like to update members that obviously we're very proud of the fact that the Mill Hall is now being used as a vaccination centre. It's been, I think we're on something like about the ending of the 3rd week. But the Freight House, we understand from the NHS, will not be required. And that is really because of the tremendously successful rollout of the programme and the numbers that have been thankfully vaccinated very much according and actually ahead of schedule. And I just want to pay tribute to the work of everyone that has made that programme so successful in Rochford. Certainly, doctors' surgeries both in Rayleigh and in Rochford are now supported by pharmacies. And certainly when you look at other vaccination centres, they are serving residents extremely well. So whilst I would have been very happy to offer the Freight House, and it still is on offer, I think in terms of capacity, the NHS collectively have done an absolutely wonderful job in meeting the demands for the Rochford residents. So I'm very appreciative, but I thought that would just be helpful to clarify that point. Okay, Councillor Rowe, you wish to come back?
Thank you, Chairman. Just to concur with what you've said, and I think it should be made well known that us as a district council put various of our sites forward to the NHS, and it was not the Rochford District Council's delay in getting these coming forward. We actually did offer them in good time. I think it's fair that everybody knows that. Thank you.
Yes, indeed, Councillor, a really important point. It was last December when we first knew that we would be offering sites, but also I would like to add the incredible response from businesses and offers from volunteers within our community to also support the programme. It really is beyond belief, the kindness of businesses in the district that have offered premises. I please don't want them to be offended that they haven't actually been taken up, because the rollout of the programme has been demanding, but the fact that businesses, those very kind offers from other community places have been made is a real tribute to the community spirit in this district. But please do not be offended at the fact that it just wasn't possible to take up all those that were offered. So there we are. But moving back to the report before us, members, there's one recommendation set out on paragraph 1.1, page 7.1 of the report, to note the update on the Asset Delivery Programme, ADP, and the Connect Programme. Is that noted, members?
Noted, Chairman.
Noted, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 8, the process for awarding voluntary sector grants 2021-2022. I hand over to the portfolio holder for Community Councillor Mike Webb, who will present the report. Councillor Webb.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity to present this report. Chairman, this report is good news for our district. I'm sure members have had a chance to read through it, but I would just like to pick out some key points for members, if that's okay. The purpose of the report is to continue to support our voluntary sector within the district, to provide a voluntary sector grant scheme for the year ahead worth approximately £10,000, and also to continue to support Rayleigh and Rochford District Association of Voluntary Services through a top slice of the funding as well. In the report, in section 3, there's an outline of what the criteria for those grants and how it will work. And we're going to be opening up to the community, and any one group can apply for up to a maximum of £1,000 of revenue funding with no capital funding available. And we're going to be asking those groups to allocate against 3 criteria, which will be reducing overweight and obesity levels, improving mental health and well-being, and supporting people to lead independent lives and to stay in their own homes. And an additional funding will be allocated subject to applicants demonstrating how their activities contribute to the district's community resilience. This will be overseen by a member advisory group, which I will be chairing. In addition, in 3.4, it's outlined that the funding to RAVs will be top sliced and will total 15k. Chairman, I'd like to draw attention of members to 3.6 in the appendix, if that's okay, because it outlines how successful this scheme was last year. Not only were we able to support RAVs to the tune of £15,000, but we also gave out a total of 11 awards to our local voluntary sector, ranging from £900 to £1,000. And Chairman, in Appendix 1, I'd just like to draw members' attention to Appendix 1, it actually outlines this work in our district. The work of RAVs recruiting 275 community-based volunteers to support the outcome of the hub. It also lists the work that was carried out through Essex Community First Aid events volunteers, where they're able to not just purchase a defibrillator, but actually to carry out the training for those who would be using it. It was able, the funding was able to support carers and families working together, contact with and supporting around 170 young people and approximately 150 families from across the district. In addition, the Memory Lane Cafe was supported, looking to able to access services for those who required extra support. The Essex Hackspace service had equipment in place to support those in our community. Wyvern Community Transport provided free food parcel deliveries for those in our community. And then finally, Chairman, the Mega Centre, and if I turn you to page 8.7, was able to work with the Community Hub to provide a telephone response helpline benefiting the most vulnerable in our community. And that led to literally thousands of people in our district receiving not just food parcels, but able to access their medication and their prescriptions. Without this work, our district would be a much poorer place. And so, Chairman, I'm pleased to say that we are recommending that this grant scheme continues for the year ahead, that RAVs will receive £15,000 top slice, and that the voluntary sector grant will be £10,000 again in the year ahead. I don't think we should underestimate this achievement, Chairman. I know many other local...
Councillor Webb, you've just moved on to mute. Councillor Webb, we missed the last part of your words because you moved on to mute for some reason.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to say, we should recognise the work in our district that we continue to support our voluntary sector, and many other local authorities no longer do this, but within Rochford, we're continuing to invest in the third sector, and we're continuing to ensure that our voluntary organisations are well supported and that they are funded as well. Thank you.
Councillor Webb, thank you very much indeed. Just before I pass it out for questions, I'm not sure whether Assistant Director Louisa Moss wishes to add anything. I know you're available to answer any questions alongside Councillor Webb. Did you wish to add anything, Louisa?
No, no, thank you, Leader. I think Councillor Webb summed up the report concisely. I'm just here for questions if needed.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I just confirm that what we're doing here is not a statutory function? We're talking about voluntary sector grants, but this is a voluntary operation of the district council, and it's something that we are choosing to do rather than we need to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Webb, do you wish to answer that?
Yes, thank you, Councillor Smith. Yes, this is not a statutory obligation. We choose to do this. We choose to support our voluntary sector, and we choose to recognise the good value in our community. And as I said in the appendix in the report, it outlines the work that is doing in the community, the added value that is bringing to our residents. And I very much anticipate that in the year ahead, the community grant scheme will continue to support our voluntary sector, which in turn will continue to enable those in our community to be well looked after and well cared for. Thank you.
Councillor Efty, you have a question.
So not so much as a question, Chairman. It's just I was also involved in the early stages of the mega centre and the hub, as quite a few of the other councillors here as well, even cross-party. And the work they did, especially RABS and the mega centre, beginning of this COVID-19, when everybody was moving from real life into working remotely, was amazing. And I think they deserve everything they've got, and hopefully for many more years into the future.
Thank you, Councillor Efty. I can't see any more hands. I would just like to say how proud I am to be leader of an authority which sets aside up to £25,000 for, as Councillor Smith said, a totally non-statutory service. The work that we are doing in the community is truly amazing, and I think it is a real tribute to this authority that in these cash-strapped times we are able to set aside a significant sum of money within our budget to continue that good work. So I pay tribute to you, Councillor Webb, under your stewardship. and officers involved and other members who will be involved in the process for the excellent work that is going on here. I can't see any more questions or comments. So in that case, I will turn to the recommendations and I will read them out. At paragraphs 1.1 to 1.3, there are 3 recommendations. 1.1, to put in place a procedure for allocating the Voluntary Sector Grants Fund for the financial year 2021 to 2022. 1.2, to agree that this process remains clear and transparent whilst aligning outcomes with those identified in the Rochford District Council business plan relating to partnership working and links to the joint Rochford and Castle Point health and wellbeing strategy. And 1.3, to agree that the Raleigh, Rochford and District Association for Voluntary Services will receive top-sliced funding from the same pot based on outcomes aligned with the Essex County Council Performance Framework and the HWBS Action Plan. Members, I will move the 3 recommendations. Do I have a seconder, please?
Councillor Ward, Chairman.
Right, okay, I had a few hands go up there, but Councillor Ward, let me take your seconder, please. Now, members, are you happy to vote on these 3 recommendations together? I will assume you're in agreement unless you click on your raised hand icon. I'll wait a few moments. No, I can't see anyone wishing to take them separately. So moving on to the next stage of the process, please unmute yourself and advise me if you're not able to use the electronic hand and raise your hand manually so that it can be counted. Members, if anyone would like a recorded vote to be taken, please click on the raised hand icon once. So it looks to me as if everyone can vote, and it looks to me as if we do not need to take a recorded vote. So in that case, voting will be done by an electronic show of hands. All those in favour of the recommendations, please click on your raised hand icon once.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, that's fine, thank you.
I think that's unanimous, isn't it, Sonia?
It is unanimous, thank you.
Thank you very much. You may lower your raised hand. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 9, which refers to the lease of the former Crown Hill Public Convenience. The portfolio holder for commercial, business, local economy and leisure, Councillor Danielle Belton, will introduce the report, please. Councillor Belton.
Thank you, Chairman. The report sets out the proposal to publicly market the leasehold opportunity to the asset known as the former Crown Hill Toilets. As marked out in section 3 of the report, in line with the council's disposal framework, the asset is deemed surplus to requirement as it doesn't meet at least one objective in the asset strategy. Therefore, granting a lease would also support the business plan to maximise our assets. A professional valuation has been undertaken and has given a guide lease price of £12,000 per annum. But given the current market, we need to note that this is an indication of potential valuation only. The report was drafted some year ago, but given the pandemic, it was put on hold. However, now that we can start to see an end in sight, it's vital that the council lead by example and do what they can to ensure prime units in the town are occupied by a good mix of diverse users. It's proposed that the space be marketed through expressions of interest being sought, including fit out plans and intention of use. This will allow consideration of the business plans and the viability of all proposals. Rayleigh High Street is a key part of our district, and it's important for residents and businesses alike that units be filled. So as we start to edge towards some normality, our high streets can all start to thrive again. Thank you.
Councillor Belton, thank you very much indeed. I know that Assistant Director Matt Harwood-White is also there to support you in answering any questions that may be raised, but can I please remind members that there is one exempt appendix to the report. If you need to make reference to an exempt appendix 2 or wish to ask questions on it, can you please indicate before speaking, as it will be necessary to move a recommendation to exclude the press and public first. So with that in mind, are there any questions from the executive, please? And I can see Councillor Ward, but can you just assure me that you're not going to drift into the exempt part of the report?
Leader, yes, I will not be dipping into that part of the report at all. I would like to support, the work that has been done, and I would also like to draw attention to the possibilities that have opened up to us, which we need to explore. It's a bit too early yet, with the Chancellor's speech today in the budget, which does give openings to business that I think we need to investigate and see where we go with those. So I think that's very, very important to really understand what is there and how it will help our high streets to develop and improve as we come out of this pandemic. So that's the main thing I would be looking to encourage going forward. Thank you.
Councillor Ward, thank you very much indeed. Are there any other questions from members of the executive or points they wish to make? If not, I will turn to the two recommendations set out at paragraphs 1.1 and 1.2, and I will read them out. Number 1 is to publicly market the leasehold opportunity of the council-owned asset known as the former Crown Hill Public Convenience. It's red on the plan set out in Appendix 1 for commercial use. And number 2 recommendation is to delegate authority to the Assistant Director, Assets and Commercial, in consultation with the Portfolio for Commercial Business, Local Economy and Leisure, to review the expressions of interest resulting from the marketing exercise and finalise the terms of the lease with the successful applicant. Members, I will move the 2 recommendations, but do I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe. Members, again, are you happy to vote on the recommendations 1 and 2 together? I will assume you're in agreement unless you click on the raised hand icon. I can't see anyone indicating, so we will take the 2 together. Please unmute yourself and advise me if you're not able to use the electronic hand and raise your hand manually so it can be counted. Members, if anyone would like a recorded vote to be taken, please click on the raised hand icon once. So I can't see anyone indicating. So voting will be done now on an electronic show of hands. All those in favour of the recommendations, please click on the raised hand icon once.
Chairman, that's fine.
And again, I think that's unanimous, and thank you, members. So that, I believe, concludes the business for the evening, and at 19:59, to be precise, I declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much indeed for your attendance. Thank you very much indeed, members, visiting members and members of the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader.
Chairman.
Thank you.